In number 1, we have a quadratic equation that's not in standard form. So we'll start by putting it in standard form, multiply through by that x, and we have 2x squared plus 7x is equal to 15. And now let's subtract 15 from both sides. We want 0 on the right-hand side. So let's do that. So we have 2x squared plus 7x minus 15 equal 0. So this is standard form. And first thing we do is we try factoring. In general, to solve a quadratic equation, usually what we do is try factoring, and if that doesn't work, then we'll do the quadratic equation. All right, unless it's in a form that we can take the square root of both sides. All right, so factoring first, let's try that. All right, here we'll put 2xx. Notice this last term, we call that the C term, A, B, C. The C term is negative. That means that these signs are going to be different. All right, different signs give you a negative product. So we'll try plus minus. All right, 15. We'll break that up into 5 times 3. And we want to get this 7x in the middle. All right, so let's say if we put the 5 here and the 3 here, what do we get for a middle term? Well, we get 3x. The outer plus inner give us the middle term. So here we get 3x, and here we have minus 10x, and that's a minus 7x. Okay, so the sign is not correct. So when that happens, we just change both of these. And now we'll have the correct factorization. Now we will get plus 7x in the middle. All right. Finally, we're going to set each factor equal to 0 to finish solving. So we have 2x minus 3 equals 0. And we have x plus 5 equals 0. All right, solve this. Little equation, 2x equals 3. Now divide by 2. And x equals 3/2 is one solution. And here we just subtract 5. X equal minus 5 is the second solution. In number 2, we will continue with that strategy, setting to 0 and factoring. So we'll subtract 5t from both sides, or bring the 5t over to the other side as minus 5t. So we have 2t squared minus 5t equal 0. So now this is in standard form, and we can factor. We do not do reverse FOIL. When the constant term is 0, the C term is 0, then both terms will contain t, and we can just factor out t. So we're just going to pull out that common factor here. And then we're ready to set each factor equal to 0. So that's t equals 0. And 2t minus 5 equals 0, or t equals 0, that gives us one solution right away. And here add 5 to both sides. And finish solving by dividing both sides by 2. And there are our solutions. All right, this quadratic equation is in standard form. And we're not going to do reverse FOIL here because we don't have 3 terms. All right, this time the x term is missing, the middle term. Now in this case we could solve for x squared and then take the plus minus square root. That's one possibility. Or we could factor this. This happens to be a difference of 2 squares. This is 4x squared minus 3 squared. So we could factor as a difference of 2 squares. Remember that a squared minus b squared is equal to a plus b times a minus b. So in this case, here's the a and here's the b. So we can factor this as 4x plus 3, 4x minus 3 equals 0. All right, now set each factor equal to 0 and solve. Okay, here subtract 3 from both sides. And finally divide by 4. So there's one solution, minus 3/4. And here add 3 to both sides and divide both sides by 4. So there are two solutions, minus 3/4 and 3/4. All right, here we have 2x squared is equal to 18. So I think since both sides are divisible by 2, let's just start by dividing both sides by 2. And we have x squared is equal to 9. And now I think the fastest route would be just take the plus minus square root of both sides. So that is x is equal to plus or minus 3. So those are the two solutions, x equals 3, x is equal to minus 3. In number 5, we have 3x squared is equal to 7, and we can easily solve for x squared and then take the plus minus square root of both sides. So like before, we'll divide by the coefficient of x squared. Let's divide both sides by 3, just so that we solve for x squared. And now the equation is in the form what I like to call something squared equal to a number. So we have some expression in x squared, actually x itself, equal to a number. So in this case we can take plus minus square root of both sides, and we have x is equal to plus or minus the square root of 7 over 3. Number 6 is also of that form, that something squared equal to a number form, and so we're ready to take the plus minus square root of both sides. On the left we just have 3x minus 5, and on the right we have plus minus 3. Alright, now let me warn you, at this point don't add 5 to both sides, just split this up into two equations. 3x minus 5 equal to 3, and 3x minus 5 equal to minus 3. And now start to solve. Add 5, 3x equal 8, and divide by 3. And here add 5, and we have 3x is equal to 2, and divide by 3. And those are our solutions. Number 7 is of the same form, something squared equal to a number. So take the plus minus square root. On the left we have just 3x plus 2, and on the right plus or minus square root 5. So here we are left with a square root in the solution. All right, let's break this up into 3x plus 2 is equal to square root 5, and 3x plus 2 is equal to minus square root 5. All right, so here we have 3x is equal to minus 2. I'm subtracting 2 from both sides, plus square root 5. Divide by 3, x is equal to minus 2 plus square root 5. Divide the entire expression by 3. And here subtract 2 from both sides again, so we have 3x is equal to minus 2 minus square root 5, and again divide by 3. So there are the two solutions. In number 8 we have something squared equal to a number again, but the number on the right hand side is negative. Alright, so if we take the plus minus square root, we get x minus 5 is equal to plus or minus the square root of negative 2. So in this case we'll say the square root of a negative is not a real number, so we'll say no real solutions. And I'll just put in parentheses 2 complex solutions.